you'll leave a film race either very rich in batteries and new gear or very poor.
Ooh, extra gaff tape.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome back to the Film Race series. I'm Brian.
I'm Karen.
And since we're just a few weeks away from our next film race, I figured it'd be a good time to talk about getting your tech ready for a film race. So before you prep any tech for your film race, you have to know where to put it. So that means getting your home base selected, knowing where home base is going to be, and getting that kind of generally tidied, because that's where all the tech and gear is going to go. And then after that, it's almost like getting ready for any other shoot or production. You just want to make sure, batteries can get stuck and lost and pocketed over different shoots, and making sure that you've got your kit with as many batteries and supplemental gear ready. So it's not like, hey, grab that piece where is it? So having your kits kind of ready, powering them on, making sure your settings are set, if you're shooting in like 4K or HD, or if you're shooting a special frame rate, making sure that's set and saved in the camera so that you're not scrambling through or making like codec mistakes when you're in the middle of filming.
And now would be a good time to label any of your gear that you don't already have labeled.
Yeah, because if you have a bunch of different people coming together, bringing in different bits of gear, doing that when someone's like on Saturday night or Sunday leaving, and you're like trying to edit, just take it all. It's just
also just when you're mixing gear, a lot of the gear is so similar. It's all black. Everything is black.
Everything's black, and batteries are the worst because you'll leave a film race either very rich in batteries and new gear or very poor.
Ooh, extra gaff tape.
Oh, yeah. Post-production, make sure you're on the operating system and version of editing software you want to be on. Don't necessarily upgrade right before, because editing systems can get weird if you upgrade everything at once. So make sure you are where you want to be. Make sure your hard drives are clean, because nothing's worse than like getting into the thick of a project and then just having to like pause and scramble for hard drive space. Typically, we'll buy a couple hard drives to back up the footage and to work from for a film race. It's also a good time you can start gathering music tracks or other bits of resources you're planning on using.
Sound effects,
maybe some stock imagery or something if that's allowed in the film race.
Visual effects, After Effects.
Yeah, kind of having like some things ready so they're all kind of neat and organized, and you can reach out and grab them.
One thing that would be good to do is to do a sort of test workflow. Get all your gear out that you're planning to use, boot it all up, make sure everything's working. Because sometimes you don't use your gear for a long time, especially if maybe the last time you used it was the last film race, and that may have been months or even years ago. Make sure you have enough expendables like batteries to go with it. But that also includes like not just rechargeable batteries, but you might need a bunch of like AA batteries, or making sure you have power cables for things, making sure you have charging stations for your rechargeable batteries, gaff tape and gels and bounce cards and anything that you think you might use, making sure that your tripods have the plate on it and it's not missing somewhere. That happens a lot. Something super important to figure out ahead of time is the turn-in process and the needs that you might have for that. So depending on the film race that you're doing, they might require you to hand it in on a flash drive. They might require to do an upload. They might require something else entirely. You just want to make sure that you know what that process is and have whatever you need in place to do that. So if you need a flash drive to hand in that you're not going to get back, make sure it's not your flash drive that has all your other important information on that you don't want to let go of.
And certainly in the weeks leading up to the film race, make sure any gear you need to rent has been rented and you know when it's going to arrive. Typically, you should probably have it arrive like a day before the event starts, just so if there's any delays in shipping, you're not, left without a drone or a special piece of camera gear that you were really counting on using. And also, whenever you rent gear, it might be your first time using it, so make sure you can test it. And if it's like a gimbal, say, you have your camera balanced to it already, so you're not wasting precious time figuring that out.
So we are currently just a short time away from the 72 Film Fest, and So we are getting to that point where we need to really test out our gear and test out our workflow. Now, we do this for a living, so we have a lot of that already in place. But there are certain things that we're going to be getting ready now. For one thing, we need to make sure we clean up the office and make sure that our home base is ready to go.
For an upcoming shoot for a client, we are building a turnstile that can hold a human weight so that we can spin actors or props. And it's great that it's coming now because we're like, hey, this might be something we can use for the St. Angie Fest. I had this idea of spinning actors on a green screen for some reason. So we'll see if that happens. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and we'll see you in a few weeks at the St. Angie Film Fest and on the Film Race series.